Continuing, I would like to transition to the next step, to the introduction of my work from the 1960s. This is a series of works that was created with the method that I named self-propagating pattern. First, I would like to mainly introduce the magazine design of musical arts. As you can perceive from the cover of the magazine, these magazines are from 1960 and 61. It was the beginning of the 1960s when I was experimenting with this sort of design. Taking up one of them, although it is slightly logical, I would like to convey what kind of principles are behind the design. The three patterns that appear here were used in this design series. What exactly is it? You don't understand, right? Taking up one of them, pattern A, this is how it looks. It can be guessed that it is composed of 16 blocks divided into 4 horizontal divisions and 4 vertical divisions. Inside this 4 by 4 grid, anywhere between 1 to 16 square dots are distributed. The distribution of numbers is actually the formation of the magic square. I think you all know what a magic square is. It has the property where you will get the same number whether you add the numbers vertically, horizontally, or diagonally. The magic square for 1 to 16 gives a total of 34. There are many variations. The Luoshu square from China is probably the most well-known association with the magic number. It is now believed that it was created in the 4th century BC. It is said that mysterious patterns were inscribed on the back of the splendid horse from the Yellow River and the shell of the turtle from the Luo River. In the picture below, the inscription on top of the turtle shell that appeared on top of the Luo River is the Luoshu square. In the pattern taken out on the bottom right, if you count the black points and the white points, it creates a distribution of numbers exactly as the 3 by 3 magic square. In ancient China, it is said that the mystical iconography called Luoshu Square, which had the power of the 9-part magic square, was born as a prototype to the famous iconography called the Bagua, the diagram that shows the transformation of yin and yang and expresses the providence of the universe. A magic square is considered to be a figure with mysterious magical powers like this and has a deep connection with astrology and alchemy in various parts of the world. I was always fascinated by this magic square. There is a certain rule in the arrangement of numbers in squares. I was interested in such things, so I tried to distribute square dots according to the magic square like this. A 4 by 4 magic square. 3 patterns created following that variation. For example, if we color pattern A with blue, pattern B with gray, and pattern C with red and superimpose them, then first I will color pattern A with blue, next overlapping with the red pattern C, we get this kind of transformation. Finally, we have pattern B, color it with gray and superimpose it with the rest. We get this sort of final product. It is a design made by the superimposition of 3 magic squares of different colors. However, the position of the superimposition seems to be slightly off by 1 square. This blue pattern A is shifted 1 square to the left. Instead of superimposing them together perfectly, they are shifted a little. That creates a subtle effect. It can be slid in any direction. Of course, we can create a perfect ordered pattern by superimposing the three colors perfectly, but superimposing these dislodged patterns of numerologically ordered magic square, we get a subtle effect. This lag becomes one of the main causes of noise. Shifting has become one of the basic syntaxes of self-propagating design. The May issue, which I used just now to explain the method of creating superimposing patterns, is now on the left. The June issue is the one on the right hand. For the design of these two issues, I rotated the pattern by 180 degrees and changed the color combination. The August issue in the center has no shift in the pattern as it printed in two colors. The basis for the cover of Musical Arts was tricolor letterpress printing. It was not done by color separation. Today, when you use a personal computer to design, all the color data is superimposed and sent to printing shop as a set of data. The printer completes the printing by dividing it into printing plates. However, when we were young, from the 1950s to the 1980s, we made separate block copies for each version, wrote color specifications on them, and sent them to the printing press. The press will print it according to the instructions. There is a condition at the designation stage that there are three separate things that have already been drafted. When these are printed, the designers will be applied. In other words, it was a time when there was an intimate relationship between the printing process, design techniques, and the designer's thought process. Well, a pattern using such a magic square. It attempts to create a single musical noise by superimposing the order of the numbers indicated by the magic square in the irregular operation of shifting that order. That was the endeavor behind this design. By changing the shifting method, monthly changes in the magazine are naturally produced. Magazines cannot have the same appearance every month. We must keep adding novel designs by changing something every month. The words that appear on the screen shake, move. Since magazine designs are fresh, it must constantly be moving and shaking. This was one of the mottos I set to magazine design. Further, I feel we can say that the idea of self-propagating pattern techniques fits this objective well. Well, let us shift our attention to the second pattern. This is an assembly of rectangles modified in different ways. It is a logical looking pattern and it is backed by these three patterns A, B, C. These three patterns are segmented as vertical 6 by horizontal 6. For example, this A pattern is given a mustard color. While comparing with the design on the right, I think you can find the location of the pattern. The B pattern is printed in blue. If you compare with the design on the right, you will be able to see the position of the blue pattern. Then we overlap with another color, pattern C in green. This kind of superimposition of the three colors has created such a design. But what exactly is this design? Odd rectangles are irregularly arranged inside a 6 by 6 grid. What exactly is this? In fact, in this 6 times 6 square, taking 2 rows as one unit, 3 layers of 6 horizontal by 2 verticals are stacked. If we take out a unit, the topmost horizontal 6 by vertical 2, and look at it closely, you will perceive that each square is further divided into small units of 12 by 12. By the way, if we focus on the horizontal widths in the upper part of this A pattern, the top left is 11. The one to the right has a width of 9. The next one is 5. You will notice that there are 12 changes in width as indicated by the red numbers in this diagram. In the changes in the width, the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, so on up to 12 appear once each. Let us now try examining the changes in length in this pattern. The numbers from 1 to 12 are allotted in a different way than the width. In other words, numbers from 1 to 12 are arranged differently horizontally and vertically in this 12 by 12 square, and the relationship between the horizontal and the vertical numbers fixes the size of the rectangle box. Similarly, the next two rows have this kind of a sequence hidden horizontally and vertically. The bottom two rows also have a horizontal and vertical number sequence with numbers from 1 to 12. In the 6 by 6 grid shape, 6 sets of sequences are concealed as written here. What exactly are these sequences? This is actually serial music, which was a technique that was popular in European contemporary music in 1949-50 till the 1960s. For example, the horizontal sequence of numbers between 1 and 12 in the topmost line is assigned as the pitch of sound. The next one, the vertical sequence, represents the continuation of sound. The next two sequences below that are intensity of sound and tone color. And the next ones are assigned the expression of sound and the playing method of an instrument. In this way, a composer named Olivier Messiaen started in Europe a way to apply various parameters of musical expression to change in the number sequence from 1 to 12, mathematically structure the flow of music, and precisely structure the pattern. This was in 1949. This was a mathematical, theoretical, and logical looking composition of music, serial music. Why did such a composition method come up? A democratic evolution of music. Up to that point, Romantic music was created using a technique in which the central one, which is dominated by tonality, became the main part of the melody. A easy to listen melody is created by the tone sequence according to the central tone. As if in a feudal society ruled by processes, the arrangement of notes is concentrated on one key note. In the early 20th century, a composer named Arnold Schoenberg declared an escape from this romantic arrangement of sounds. Since there are 12 semitones in music, it was a proposal for a new composition method in which 12 tones appear evenly and have equal value. It is named 12 tone music, which brings socialist and communist ideas into music. In the middle of the 20th century, Messiaen launched a movement to further rigorize Schoenberg's thought, make it mathematical, and bring thorough numbering to the various parameters that make up music. I was inspired by this serial music. It was this composition technique that was used on the figure to give this design. On the left is three color offset printing, on the right is a two color print. This serial music technique was taken up and developed by Pierre Boulez from France, who was well known as a musical conductor, or Karl-Heinz Stockhausen, who is also well known as a composer of electronic music. It had little impact on Japanese composers, but this technique did not spread as much in Japan. I think the reason for this was that the resulting sound was cold and uninteresting due to the mathematical processing. Let us look at the third technique used for musical arts. It is this kind of a design series. It is a design of three patterns spanning 1961-62. Each one is a 12 by 12 square structure. In each of the boxes is hidden an assembly of rectangles which change as an arithmetic series. In case of pattern A, the width reduces from 6, 5, 4, 3 to 1 horizontally and subsequently increase to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The same arithmetic series is arranged vertically and we get a quadrilateral that connects the horizontal to the vertical. In this way, this arithmetic series is increased or decreased. We just saw the one on the top left. In case of the one in the center, the arithmetic series of the horizontal increases as it goes towards the center and then decreases, which is opposite to the previous pattern. But vertically, it first reduces as it goes down and then increases. In the pattern on the right, it increases as it approaches the center and then reduces. In the same way, vertically also, it increases as it approaches the center and then reduces. Three patterns created using change in the combination of the arithmetic series. As can be seen here, designs rich in changes are created by shifting positions and varying the color combinations. Even in the third section, shift to be dislodged or important keywords. In other words, it is a part of my design language that noise is born even out of combination of orderly things and things that are out of order or of shifted. Another one, there is a fourth pattern series that got developed through musical arts. It is a series in which shadows get added. Regarding the meaning of what shadow is, it will be explained in the next section. We will see it in detail there. In case of the fourth series, in addition to the surface change due to such arithmetic series, the height change is also taken into account. The two patterns on the top left are taken out and kept side by side. If you superimpose these two, you can see that the pattern on the surface has variation in height and the pattern on the left is the result of drawing in the shadow. In this way, by adding shadows, the entire surface of the paper transforms into a three-dimensional object that has a feeling of solidity. The remaining pattern is a variant of the arithmetic series pattern, design created by a combination of arithmetic series and shadows. These are examples of the fourth pattern in which somehow 3D changes were created. This design continued for a year. In this way, the cover designs I created through 1960-61 for the magazine Musical Arts changed from Magic Square, serial music, arithmetic series, increasing decreasing patterns to add shadows to create matrix design. I continued for 2.5 years to design almost 30 issues, order created by numerical sequences and fluctuation by shifting. These two are combined to propagate noise. The pattern itself propagates by changing its combinations and changing its colors. I think that it was this development that led to self-organization, which became a hot topic in the 1980s and 1990s. These works that spanned from 1960 to around 64 with the noise design that I named self-propagating design are the core of my work.